Good morning. Good morning.
Very good.
Good morning.
All right.
And
So
good
this
morning
is
to your extended viewers.
very good. All right. So let's get straight into it. The last time we spoke with a representative from your organization treating with this non-delivery of cargo from relatives abroad through booking agent. Well, just tell us who these people are, or the person who is responsible for not signing or not paying the fees at the here in Trinidad. Tell us where we are with this whole struggle for people to get their goods or their cargo that was sent from the United States to their relatives here.
Right. Okay. So there's a shipping agent that goes by the name of Tobago Express TNT. So that shipping agent is responsible, was taking up the responsibility to ship items, barrels, bins, etc. From our diaspora that's in the United States, more so in New York, to their families and friends and so on here in Trinidad and Tobago. Some of these persons would even send stuff back, for their own use. Like for instance, house repairs, etc. Their own personal stuff that they would have in the US. Some of them who would have at some point in time decided to come back home, they would pack all their stuff in these bins and send it back down to Trinidad and Tobago, where they would receive these items and they would, put it in their own spaces here. And so they would continue to live a comfortable life. So this company have been doing this business for a number of years, and all these persons who would have they would have gained the trust of these individuals to actually send their stuff via them. Some persons would have even told me that they would have encouraged their friends and family to ship with this particular shipping agent. So that's to tell you the level of trust they would have placed or they would have had in this particular shipping agent. However, within recent times, there has been some difficult financial problems perhaps with this particular agent, and items were having arrived at the Trinidad and Tobago port. Persons would have found it difficult to access those items because it has not been released the shipping line, right? That's the ship that would have brought the items here to Trinidad due to unpaid fees that they are owed by this particular shipping agent. So in a nutshell, basically the information that we were given, we do not have any more details. We did attempt, or we did in fact, under the Freedom of Information Act, write the different agencies, which would be the regulatory agencies or the regulatory bodies that have oversight to these type of businesses. So we would have sent out FOIA requests to National Security, the Port Authority, Consumer Affairs, Customs and Excise, and the Fair Trading Association. So all these different agencies, we've seen who would have some sort of authority to regulate or to have some regulatory, responsibility as regards to this type of business arrangement. We would have written them for certain information. And basically, we were requesting from them if they've had any reports, if anything pertaining to Tobago Express TNT would have arrived at their desk, if they would have, recognized or observed any irregularities with regards to shipping arrangement, etc. Sometimes these bodies do get reports and complaints from people. So we are asking for this information. It's only when we get that information, we might be able to delve a little deeper, perhaps in a legal capacity, to treat with this matter.
All right.
So
You
basically,
said that unpaid
we have
fees,
existing.
the cargo, people's cargo and thing are here in Trinidad. However, it cannot be released onto them except the TNT Express pays what fees?
Well, those fees will be the shipping fees, and I also believe well, custom and excise also have fees to be paid as well. But I don't think custom and excise is involved at this point in time because the items has not been released from the shipping line. Right? So only when that happens, then custom and excise gets involved and the Port Authority gets involved. All right. I stand to be corrected. All
Okay.
right. Now, yeah.
Mr. Abdullah, so in terms of, I just want to go back a bit. Isn't there like a tracking system or software or platform where persons can track? Is it, so I want to get that clear. Tracking is not the issue, is actually receiving the items. Let's make that clear first.
Right. So basically, a lot of the customers, there is a way that you can track the containers. Right. So when you pack stuff in these containers and they're brought to Trinidad and Tobago, there's a number that you can call the shipping agent and get that number from the shipping agent. That number of the container, which is on the bill of lading. All right. So they would give you that the container number. So you as the customer would know my goods is in that container. My barrel or my bin is in that container with that particular number. So you can track that container. So we would have attempted through our conversations and our meetings and discourse, track some of those containers, persons who would have had their container numbers. Not all of them have their container numbers. And what we found and what we observed is that some of the containers are lodged at the Point Lisa port, at the Port of Spain port, but some of them you're getting information where the containers actually had originated from, meaning to say that those containers was emptied. The contents of those containers was emptied on the port. We are not too certain where those items are being housed at this point in time, because once these are paid and it is released by the shipping line, what?
All right. So we're having a little technical thing there. We'll get as soon as he says, as we say, it's frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the company that he's
They have not
referring
reached
to,
that stage as
Okay,
yet.
he's back. Go ahead.
Right.
We had a little, you have to repeat.
we lost you right after you mentioned that
Right.
the containers
So-
are possibly emptied at the port, but you're not sure which warehouse the
Again,
items are.
when we track the container, we are given information where the container has originated, meaning to say the container.
All right, so it seems we're having a little technical issue there, and of course, Mr. Abdullah is explaining. What is interesting, or what I want to get to is, he said that they communicated with the
company?
TNT, and there's the trouble. This is what I want to get.
Tobago Express
Yeah.
TNT Limited.
Right, and he said that communication. I want to ask. I want to get to Mr. Abdullah. You there now?
Yes, I'm here.
Right. I want to ask. You mentioned communicating with the company or the shipping company. Where is the communication now? Are you able to speak with the company, the shipping company? Is there an individual that you communicate with as to why these fees are not being paid? Do they have the fees to pay? Are you communicating with the individuals or individual that is responsible for shipping these cargo?
Well, from what we understand, when you pay your fee in New York to have the containers shipped, you would get in your.
Oh boy! All right, so it's happening again, and we just want to get that clear that there is that open communication where people can speak to, because you see what has happened in some cases. well, you trust the service,
Right.
and you expect everything to happen. However, given the experience that this has, I would think that people would want to communicate or to find out what's happening directly, and yeah. So right. So, can you communicate with the people responsible? Have you had any communication at all via phone?
There has been, right. So there have been many attempts to communicate with the person, and at every point in time, the person would indicate that the items are on their way, and persons would soon get their items. We're talking about items that were shipped since last November. It has been an entire year since those items have been sitting on the port. Well, more or less a year, because it takes, on average, about between 4 to 6 weeks for those containers to arrive here in Trinidad and Tobago. All right? If you take into consideration some delays, which normally may perhaps happen, you're looking at 2 months max. Nothing more than 2 months. So most of these individuals would have gotten their receipts for paying to send their items to Trinidad. So all monies have been paid already to the agent.
And what is the agent saying? What are they saying, Mr. Abdullah? What are they saying? Are they saying that?
I think they're saying soon.
Soon. That's all they're saying.
Yeah, that's all they're saying.
All right, you talk about the legal approach to this matter. Is there, and can you from Trinidad and Tobago file a lawsuit, or maybe you need to have an attorney in the States to send this woman or whoever person or company as to get them going, because clearly a year is too long to wait if the goods are here. And the next question is there any way that we from Tobago and Trinidad can get exiles or whoever is responsible for releasing these barrels and what have you, because that's what the family want. Is there a fee that individuals could pay if the people up there are not paying, and they say, look, you know what it is, I will pay my own fee to release my barrel? Is that option available?
Well, to answer your first question, we are considering a legal approach to bringing some closure to this matter. We have an attorney presently looking at the dynamics of the entire affair, and perhaps when we do get a response from the FOIs, we would be in a better position legally to address the situation. In the meantime, what we are saying, we are looking towards, and we are asking, and we are directing our attention to the regulatory bodies and those bodies with oversight with regards to this particular matter, to intervene and to make some sort of an arrangement to have these items released to the persons.
Yeah.
I have made it quite clear, and I want to say it again this morning on your program. I have made it quite clear, we are going to reject any attempt by anyone to ask for any payments for these items, because those customers have paid for these items already. They have, paid for the shipping of these items, and they just want to receive their items on the port. All right? There is a fee that they usually would pay to get their items in their possession. That's all they're prepared to do, according to regulations.
What about insurance?
We are going to reject any attempt for any additional or extra fees that have been charged.
Mr. Abdullah, what about insurance? Because I mean, normally if you have issues with regards to delays and spoilage in a normal circumstance, there should be insurance or something installed in the terms and conditions that you could tap into. Is that part of the approach, seeing that this is a delay, a very long delay? We're talking about a year now. Are you all considering that as well? Is there any insurance policy in place to safeguard you all?
There is insurance, but the insurance is specific to natural disasters or you know, natural occurrences, that things that happen naturally.
Okay.
But this is a deliberate delay. This is a deliberate failure on the part of Tobago Express, Tobago Express TNT Limited to pay those fees. The
Is this the
insurance would
first
not
time?
honor those claims.
Is this the first time? I'm not sure how long you would have been in partnership or using this particular company, but is this the first time there's a delay of this particular length?
I would say within the last couple of years, this particular issue has been plaguing customers. This company was in existence. Some of the customers are with this company over 28 years. So there has been a long time relationship with the customers and this company, and there was a lot of trust built into this company. Within the last couple of years, they started having problems, and people started having problems in receiving their goods and services. There's another company, I think it's Star Shipping, right, that does the same business, and they too, their customers as well, are experiencing difficulty in accessing their goods and services in the other islands, like Grenada and those other places and so on. So it's something that definitely the regulatory bodies and the oversight bodies must look into and seriously make an intervention into this matter.
Okay. All right. And well, we wish that this is sorted out. And is the company still shipping? Are they still operating, or have they left office given this debacle? Are they still existing?
Well, from what we understand, they're still receiving goods, containers, barrels and stuff, and they're still shipping, right? From what we understand, the information that we were given. At what degree that is happening, we are not too sure. But it's like, it's like business as usual.
Okay.
And people are getting the sense that the owner of this company just does not care. All right. So just quickly before we end, we do have intention tomorrow to protest or to deliver letters to some of these oversight bodies, persons who are in charge of these oversight bodies and regulatory bodies, and we are going to do it in protest mode. So in New York, and these protests is going to be simultaneously happening in New York because of the 1 hour pushback. They're going to come out at 9 o'clock, and in Trinidad and Tobago, we are coming out at 10 o'clock. So there's going to be 3 protest actions taking place tomorrow: one in New York, one in Trinidad, and one in Tobago. The one in New York, a letter will be delivered to the Attorney General's office, and in Trinidad, a letter will be delivered at Nicholas Towers, the Ministry of Trade and Industry, and one will be delivered at the office of the Chief Secretary at Calder Hall. All right? These protest actions will be taking place simultaneously at the same time in these 3 places. We've asked the media to come out and to witness the delivery of these letters. We would share the contents of these letters with the media, and we are hoping that this is going to attract the attention that this matter deserves, and these bodies will get involved and to try to bring some resolution to this matter, and to have those containers and those barrels and what have you in the possession of these people before Christmas.
Okay.
Because it has been too long.
Yeah.
And these persons have waited and frustrated themselves with many attempts to deal with this matter.
All right, Mr. Abdullah, we want to thank you for being with us this morning, and we hope that people will receive
Thank you for having me.
barrels and so on. Thank you, sir.